social dynamics, hidden antipathies, and the quest for inner balance. In the intricate tapestry of everyday social life, we sometimes find ourselves puzzled by the inexplicable subtle hostilities others may harbor toward us. We might ask, why do certain individuals seem to dislike us, even though we have done nothing overtly harmful or offensive? This scenario touches on a common yet perplexing aspect of human interaction: hidden antipathies that simmer beneath the surface. Such silent resentments often have little to do with our direct actions and more to do with how others perceive us, our successes, our demeanor, our values, or our refusal to conform to their expectations. Underneath the polite smiles and small talk, there may be unspoken judgments and quiet rivalries. These tensions influence relationships and social dynamics in subtle yet potent ways, often leaving us feeling unsettled or confused. In this extensive exploration, we will analyze 9 fundamental reasons why people might secretly dislike us, even when we have offered no apparent cause. Throughout this process, we will rely on the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, rooted in the teachings of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, to guide us. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot always control what others think or feel, we can control our own responses. By embracing this principle, we protect our inner tranquility from the shifting tides of external approval or hostility. The goal here is not merely to understand the darker undercurrents of social life, but to find a path to personal resilience. When we grasp why certain animosities arise, we gain a better understanding of human nature itself. And by integrating Stoic insights, we learn to remain composed, compassionate, and true to our values, no matter how others perceive us. 1. Envy and jealousy, the hidden engines of subtle hostility. Envy and jealousy often lurk behind secret forms of dislike. Imagine you've received a promotion at work or made a significant life achievement, such as buying your first home. While many will sincerely congratulate you, some may respond with a distant silence or forced politeness. Beneath their neutral expressions may lie a tinge of envy, born not from your wrongdoing, but from their own sense of inadequacy or stagnation. Philosopher Plato acknowledged that envy arises when we see others possessing what we crave, but lack ourselves. Envy is more than mere desire. It is a painful reminder of personal shortcomings. Rather than feeling inspired by another's success, an envious individual may perceive it as a personal failure. Your success highlights what they feel they do not have, twisting admiration into a darker emotion. This can manifest as subtle snubs, downplaying your achievements, or avoiding you when you share good news. Within friendships, envy can cause communication breakdowns. In professional settings, it may lead to passive-aggressive remarks or undermining behaviors. Stoicism offers a remedy by shifting our focus from external validation to internal equilibrium. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." Instead of internalizing others' envy, we can view it as a reflection of their own inner turmoil. Far from taking it personally, we can choose compassion and detachment. Their envy tells us more about them than about us. Understanding this frees us from resentment and lets us maintain our peace of mind. Thus, Stoicism teaches us to see envy as a sign of another's struggle, not our failure. We can also foster a culture among friends, colleagues, or community members where achievements are shared victories. By emphasizing collective progress over individual conquest, we reduce the breeding ground for envy. Aristotle's insight, "The antidote for 50 enemies is one friend," reminds us that genuine camaraderie neutralizes the negativity envy can breed. Through empathy, humility, and a sense of mutual support, we transform what could be a source of secret hostility into an opportunity for collective growth. 2. Miscommunication and misunderstandings. The silent fuel of resentment. A single misplaced word, a misunderstood tone, or a misread facial expression can create quiet tensions that last long after the conversation ends. Perhaps you offer constructive feedback to a colleague, only for them to interpret it as harsh criticism. Or maybe a casual remark is taken out of context, leaving another person feeling slighted or disrespected. These small communication gaps can accumulate, forming a backdrop of silent hostility. People might secretly dislike you because they believe you have been rude, dismissive, or insensitive, when in reality, the message simply got lost in translation. From a Stoic perspective, the solution lies in patience, clarity, and self-restraint. Epictetus advised us not to be overheard complaining, not even to ourselves. This encourages us to pause before reacting to perceived insults and to seek better understanding. Instead of assuming malicious intent, we can ask clarifying questions or restate our point more gently. Active listening is also a powerful tool. By focusing intently on the speaker's words, tone, and context, rather than preparing our rebuttal, we reduce misunderstandings. Empathy becomes a bridge, allowing us to step into the other person's perspective and discern their true meaning. In professional environments, this might mean a manager double-checks that their feedback is being understood as intended. In personal relationships, it might involve confirming that a friend truly grasps what we are saying. The Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control, our own words, reactions, and willingness to clarify, prevents small miscommunications from festering into long-term, secret antagonisms. 3. Clashes of values and beliefs. Different moral compasses, different worlds. Our values, shaped by upbringing, culture, education, and personal experiences, profoundly influence how we judge others. Consider a family setting where traditions are held sacred. If you choose to deviate from these traditions, perhaps by pursuing an unconventional career or life path, those who place immense worth on tradition may secretly resent your choices. They might see your independence as disrespect or moral failing, even when that is not your intention. Plato's allegory of the cave illustrates how our understanding of reality is limited by our experiences and beliefs. People may dislike you not because of anything you've done wrong, but because your values challenge their worldview. Your differences become unsettling mirrors that reflect their own fears and uncertainties. Stoicism encourages us to approach such conflicts with empathy and rational detachment. Marcus Aurelius suggested that before finding fault in others, we should examine ourselves. By recognizing that our beliefs are one perspective among many, we foster tolerance and understanding. Rather than trying to convert or judge one another, we can aim for coexistence and constructive dialogue. In practice, when encountering someone whose values clash with ours, we might say, "I understand that your beliefs are rooted in experiences different from mine. While we may not agree, I respect your perspective." This open-minded stance can mitigate secret hostility and transform potential conflicts into opportunities for learning and personal growth. 4. Gossip and rumors. The shadows that distort reality. Few things spread as rapidly and unpredictably as rumors. A single unfounded claim, whispered in the right ear, can proliferate into a full-blown narrative that shapes how others perceive you. Perhaps someone starts a rumor that you are on the brink of being fired, or that you achieved your success through unethical means. Before long, people who barely know you might harbor a vague sense of distrust or dislike, all based on hearsay. Plato was critical of falsehoods, viewing them as injustices that erode communal integrity. Gossip not only damages the subject of the rumors, but also diminishes the character of those who indulge in it. In communities, workplaces, or social circles, gossip often thrives where transparency is lacking. A Stoic approach to rumor management involves focusing on what is within our control, our integrity, and our response. Epictetus famously said that if someone speaks ill of you, remember they do not know you well enough, for if they did, they would mention other faults. By adopting this perspective, we understand that rumors are often based on incomplete information and distorted assumptions. Practical steps might include calmly clarifying misunderstandings, providing truthful information, or simply choosing not to dignify baseless gossip with strong emotional reactions. Stoicism encourages us to maintain honesty and discretion in our own speech, becoming beacons of trust. By consistently speaking the truth and refusing to engage in malicious gossip, we foster an environment where rumors find no fertile ground. Moreover, open communication channels can preempt and counteract rumors. For example, in a workplace setting, a manager can hold regular meetings to address concerns directly, reducing the power of misinformation. In doing so, we do not only protect ourselves from secret hostility, but also contribute to a more authentic and just community. Fifth, personal insecurities and projection. Internal struggles turned outward. We all carry insecurities about our looks, our abilities, our accomplishments, or our place in the world. When these insecurities remain unresolved, they can manifest as projections onto others. A person who feels inadequate at their job might criticize a colleague excessively, using the colleague's success as a mirror reflecting their own perceived failures. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow helps us understand this phenomenon. What we often dislike in others may be what we reject or fear within ourselves. By projecting insecurities outward, individuals attempt to free themselves from internal discomfort. Instead of acknowledging, "I feel inadequate," they may think, "You are arrogant," or "You don't deserve your success." From a Stoic point of view, understanding projection is liberating. We realize that others' secret hostilities often stem from their internal turmoil rather than our actual faults. Marcus Aurelius urged that we consider our own tendencies before judging others. Applying this principle, we see that when facing someone's seemingly inexplicable dislike, we can respond with empathy rather than anger. By not taking projections personally, we prevent their negativity from poisoning our inner equilibrium. Instead, we maintain a stance of compassionate detachment, recognizing that their hostility reveals their own struggle. Likewise, reflecting on our own insecurities reduces our tendency to project. Through self-awareness, we become fairer observers of ourselves and more understanding companions to others. 6. Lack of empathy and understanding. The missing piece of the puzzle. Empathy is the bridge that connects one human experience to another. Without it, we see only the surface of people's emotions and struggles, misunderstanding their behaviors and reacting with judgment rather than care. A person who is easily distressed by minor changes in plans may seem overly sensitive, unless we know that they suffer from anxiety or have faced past traumas associated with unpredictability. Without empathy, people might harbor secret antipathies based on incomplete understanding. They might label you as difficult, odd, or oversensitive because they have not taken the time to see the world through your eyes. Stoicism offers a path to handle such scenarios. By recognizing that our perceptions are opinions, not absolute truths, we open ourselves to multiple perspectives. Marcus Aurelius noted that everything we hear is an opinion, and everything we see is a perspective, not the whole truth. With this mindset, we realize that we might be missing crucial information that would help us understand another person's behavior. This doesn't mean we must tolerate harmful actions, but it does mean suspending judgment long enough to seek clarity. Empathy involves active listening, asking respectful questions, and considering the context that shaped another's feelings. Such efforts not only prevent secret hostilities from growing, but also allow us to form deeper, more authentic connections. Ultimately, empathy reduces the breeding ground for quiet resentments and transforms potential conflicts into lessons in human complexity. 7. Competition and rivalry. When the hunger to win erodes goodwill. Competition can motivate us to improve. Rivalry, when healthy, pushes us to develop our skills, broaden our horizons, and sharpen our intellects. Aristotle recognized that striving for excellence can lead to virtuous outcomes. However, when the desire to win overshadows our moral compass, competition becomes corrosive, breeding secret resentments. In workplaces, vying for a promotion can turn colleagues into adversaries. Once friendly peers might start withholding information, making snide remarks, or questioning one another's capabilities. Within families, siblings might quietly resent each other's accomplishments if they feel overshadowed or unjustly compared. Stoicism teaches that while competition can inspire growth, it should never come at the cost of our integrity or inner peace. Marcus Aurelius said the best revenge is not to become like your enemy. Applied to rivalry, this means refusing to stoop to unethical behaviors or sabotage. Instead, Stoic wisdom urges us to focus on self-improvement rather than the downfall of others. By maintaining honesty, fairness, and a focus on personal excellence, we transform competition from a source of secret animosity into a positive force. When one's victory does not diminish another's worth, rivalry can coexist with mutual respect. In essence, Stoicism reframes competition as a challenge to oneself, rather than a threat posed by others, reducing the fuel for hidden hostilities. 8. Social expectations and traditions, breaking the mold and facing resistance. Societies enforce norms, traditions, and expectations. When someone dares to defy these unwritten rules, it can trigger discomfort or even hostility from those who uphold the status quo. Choosing a career path that goes against family traditions, marrying outside one's faith, or rejecting conventional lifestyle choices can make others uneasy. Their silent resentment may arise not from rational critique, but from the insecurity that comes when familiar norms are challenged. Plato spoke of individuals naturally suited for certain roles in an ideal state. Yet in today's complex, pluralistic world, many break away from predetermined paths to forge their own identities. Stoicism encourages living in accordance with reason and virtue rather than external pressures. We learn to question social expectations and determine whether they align with our true nature and values. This approach requires courage. By refusing to conform blindly, we invite suspicion or secret hostility from traditionalists. But Stoicism reassures us that our worth does not hinge on external approval. We learn to maintain inner coherence, to say, I choose this path not because society demands it, but because it resonates with my principles. Over time, such authenticity can soften others' hostilities, or at least prevent them from undermining our peace of mind. Lack of recognition. The pain of being overlooked. Nothing can be more disheartening than seeing our efforts go unnoticed. Whether at work, in community projects, or within families, when our hard work is taken for granted, quiet resentments may build. Those who contribute tirelessly, yet receive little acknowledgement, may gradually develop a secret antipathy toward those who fail to appreciate them. Aristotle recognized that recognition and honor play a role in human motivation. However, Stoicism reminds us that true satisfaction should not depend solely on external praise. Marcus Aurelius advised deriving contentment from knowing that you have done your best according to your own standards. While recognition is gratifying, its absence need not destroy our inner equilibrium. In practical terms, we can maintain our dignity and self-respect by remembering why we embarked on a given task in the first place. If we acted virtuously and fulfilled our responsibilities, we have no reason to feel diminished by a lack of applause. At the same time, open communication helps. In a workplace setting, for instance, communicating the importance of feedback and acknowledgement to a supervisor can foster a more appreciative environment. Moreover, we can lead by example. By recognizing and celebrating others' contributions, we establish a culture of appreciation. Such an atmosphere not only prevents secret resentments from forming, but also uplifts everyone involved. The Stoic path allows us to remain steadfast and self-reliant, understanding that our worth and dignity endure beyond the shifting winds of external validation. Practical Stoic strategies for navigating secret hostilities. Having identified these 9 factors, envy, miscommunication, value clashes, gossip, insecurities, lack of empathy, unhealthy competition, social expectations, and lack of recognition, we now turn to practical Stoic strategies. How can we apply the wisdom of ancient philosophy to ensure these hidden antagonisms do not shake our inner stability? Do not personalize. Recognize that others' emotions reflect their internal struggles. Their negativity is often not about you. By not personalizing their hostility, you conserve emotional energy and maintain inner peace. Cultivate empathy. Strive to understand the root causes of their feelings. Empathy dissolves anger and resentment, allowing you to respond with compassion instead of retaliation. Seek clarity in communication. When misunderstandings arise, clarify intentions calmly. Practice active listening and confirm that your message is understood. This prevents small grievances from festering into deeper animosity. Exercise. Self-discipline. Manage your own emotional reactions. Before responding to perceived slights, pause and reflect. By controlling your internal state, you disarm hostility rather than fueling it. Remain true to your values. External opinions come and go. Stoicism teaches that genuine worth comes from living according to your principles. Even in the face of disapproval, hold fast to your moral compass. Know your own insecurities. Self-awareness guards against projecting your fears onto others. By understanding your vulnerabilities, you become less likely to misinterpret others' behavior as personal attacks. Engage in constructive competition. Compete fairly, ethically, and respectfully. Focus on self-improvement rather than tearing others down. Transform rivalry into mutual growth rather than a breeding ground for animosity. Question. Social norms. When societal expectations cause conflict, reflect on whether they align with your true nature. Stoicism encourages rational autonomy, living authentically, even if it challenges conventions. Appreciate and be appreciated. Acknowledge others' efforts to create an environment where recognition is mutual. If you lack appreciation, communicate your needs calmly, and remember that your dignity is not dictated by external applause. Conclusion. Inner serenity and social harmony. Life's social landscape is often riddled with subtle tensions. Understanding why people might secretly dislike us is the first step toward managing these undercurrents wisely. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control how others perceive or treat us, we can control our response. By embracing a Stoic mindset, we refuse to be thrown off course by others' envy, misunderstandings, or prejudices. Each challenge, from hidden resentment due to envy or gossip, to conflicts arising from differing values, becomes an opportunity to practice virtue, patience, and understanding. By regarding external hostility as part of the human condition, rather than a personal failure, we maintain our equilibrium and integrity. In the end, personal resilience and compassion trump the need to be universally liked. As we navigate life, our goal is not to please everyone, an impossible task, but to remain anchored in our principles, guided by reason, and buffered by empathy. Instead of letting secret antipathies erode our self-esteem, we can transform them into lessons about human nature and about ourselves. By doing so, we foster a more genuine environment, inviting deeper understanding rather than shallow judgments. Over time, this approach leads not only to personal growth, but also to more fulfilling, authentic, and harmonious social connections. The Stoic journey teaches that even in the presence of hidden antagonism, we can find peace within ourselves, radiating stability and goodwill into the world around us.